Well, the lower house convened a special committee today to discuss how the government can cushion the impact of relentless fuel price hikes. Projections are looking grim indeed. Data presented in that meeting reveals if global prices continue to go up, gasoline may hit as much as 78 pesos and 33 centavos per liter and diesel by 68 pesos and 97 centavos per liter in the coming weeks. One lawmaker is now proposing two things: that President Duterte call for a special session of Congress in a week's time and declare a state of economic emergency. Joining us now live is Congressman Joey Salceda of the House Ways and Means Committee. Before we get to your proposals, Congressman, currently Duterte has a talk to the people as we speak, and NEDA is making a presentation to him. And so far, there are two proposals which will take place this March and April. Well, number one is increasing the fuel subsidy for PUB drivers from 2.5 billion to 5 billion pesos. The first tranche will be in March and the second tranche in April. And the second one is to provide additional vouchers for farmers from 500 million pesos to 1.1 billion pesos. Do you think, Congressman, this is sufficient as a buffer, basically, to soften the blow for our kababayans?
Ang layo. Because if you look at the total oil bill will go up by 200 billion pesos. That's just in dollars. So, in other words, our oil bill, the one we pay our imports, if you add the taxes there, which is about 533 billion, plus the refiners and then the distribution, you add another 20%, that's essentially about almost 1 trillion. So I don't know where 5 billion and 1 billion will go, because much of this 1 trillion pain, because these are all incremental, how much? So in short, if you look at the incrementality of it, at least we should be able to identify from where my calculation is that we should at least be able to cover 350 billion of this incremental pain.
So, Congressman, are you saying that our economic managers are so detached from reality? And the reality is suspend the excise tax and call for an emergency congressional meeting?
One, the excise tax suspension will the one that's already in the plenary and almost approved on second reading will actually result, if it's now it's for 6 months, but for as long as it's above 80, it will actually give you 80 billion per year. Second, I think where they will get money, because what's in the General Appropriation Act is 2.5 billion. That's what they're trying to augment for PUBs, including tricycles, 500 million for farmers, which they're raising to 1 billion. There's 5 billion fuel subsidy that can be unleashed if there is excess revenues, and there are excess revenues due to the VAT on higher prices of oil, plus 4.5 billion from contingency fund of the president, plus 3 billion. So in other words, we have identified 15.5 billion plus katas ng train, which I estimate at least 77, but the economic managers are estimating 25 billion. So in short, there are 40 billion. At least we have 120 billion, or 1/3 of the total incremental pain arising from, of course, the exogenous shock arising from higher oil import prices.
Can this only be implemented if President Duterte calls for a special session of Congress?
The excise tax, the big one, which is 80 billion per year.
So do you think that this will materialize? You're calling for President Duterte for the special congressional session. Do you think it will happen on March 15, or should it even happen sooner?
Because February 15, because that means we have to draw a line on the sand. If it's still above 100 by March 15, then it must be structural, because that is already 75 days of pain to the consumers when it all started. So the thinking we're making is that it will only take 1 day, because it's already on second reading in the House. And because if it's certified as urgent and all the Senate has to do is really to adopt the House version, and voila, it goes to the President for signature. We can do it in 2 days at least, a maximum of, at the very best. In 2 days, we can do it in 2 days. The Excise Tax Suspension Act.
But if the president doesn't call for this special session and there is no suspension or reduction of the excise tax, what kind of impact will this have on the Filipino people? The government should act swiftly. They should not try to make money on the pain of the Filipino consumers, Congressman.
Yun na nga eh. Kasi ang kinikita ng national government from oil taxes is 333 billion from VAT, from VAT and from excise tax. I look at the entire computation. 337 billion from gasoline, of which 155 from diesel. So at least we're making about 500 billion from revenues from VAT and from excise and VAT on oil. So sharing some of it at this point, given the pain on the consumer, and given the fact that it will not even result in lower volumes because we just opened the economy. And the good thing really is that during the meeting is that LTFRB now has a new policy of allowing full public transport to operate. So I think the president, is sensitive to yung hirap po ng mga pangkaraniwang pamilya.
The pain is getting even deeper, Congressman. Can you explain your proposal for the president to declare a state of economic emergency?
Ganito kasi, yung mga nasa GAA, yung mga in-announce kanina doon sa NEDA, depende yan. Kilala mo naman yung mga yan eh. May bureaucratic inertia yan eh. Kung ano-anong dahilan nahahanap eh. Para bumagal yan eh. Pero kung yan mag-state of emergency, di calamity fund ang gagamitin, yung mga LGUs, all 1,400 municipalities and 81 provinces and 129 cities, they can now use this and, and provide ayuda to the sectors that are affected, especially farmers, especially fisher folks, and of course, their own transport sector, lalong-lalo na yung some transport sector na hindi kayang-kaya ng gobyerno na alagaan, yung mga tricycle drivers na gumagamit po ng gasolina at yun talaga naman ang tinatamaan. Doon sa 5 billion nila doon, tanungin mo, ni piso wala silang nilaan para sa tricycle driver. Kasi sabi nila, hindi naman daw nakarehistro sa LTO. Nakarehistro sa LGU. So hindi nila kayang abutin, wala silang listahan noon. 4.4 million tricycle drivers ang meron tayo.
A lot of suffering, kababayans, as a result of these surging oil prices. Thank you so much for sharing with us your proposals, Congressman Joey Salceda.